All right. So this is lesson 3-6, equations and problem solving. Okay, so whenever we do story problems for me, those that have never done story problems with me before, I like a lot of things written out. Okay, so make sure you have your notes out because this is what each story problem is going to consist of. First thing you need to write down is the question. What is that story problem asking for? What does it want? What does it want us to solve? The second thing is all of the given / important information in the problem. Okay, whether it's shapes, whether it's consecutive numbers, whether it's rate, time, distance traveled, all of that good stuff. All of that is a given important information. Third step is where you let. This is where you assign a variable. Okay, that's where we will assign a variable. 4, you write your equation. 5, we solve. And 6, you write your solution. And the solution needs to be in a complete sentence. Okay, so those are the things that I want for my story problems. I want, the equations, the let, the question, all the important information, assigning variables, solving, and then everything is always written in a complete sentence. And people always ask me, why do you want so much? Number one, it gets you way better at story problems. Because a lot of the times, a lot of people don't know what story problems are asking for. They don't understand what they're trying to solve for. So by writing every single thing down, it gets you a better idea of what you're trying to solve and what you're trying to solve for. 2, college. If you have a college class, they're going to want you to, when you do story problems, they're going to want things written out. And they give you points for all the work. Each of my story problems are worth 7 points. Each is a point. Okay? So, a couple points for the solving, obviously. But look at how many points that you can acquire, even if you got this wrong. Okay? You'd still have a pretty good score on a story problem. All right. So, let's say we have the story problem. The width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than the length. Okay. The perimeter is 24 inches. I want to find the dimensions. Okay, so here's your story problem. The width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than the length. The perimeter is 24 inches. Find the dimensions. So here we go. First thing you need to write down is the question. So we write question. And in this, it's find the dimensions. Okay. You're given information, so your important information. Okay, when you're dealing with shapes, very first thing I do is I draw the shape. We're dealing with a rectangle. Rectangles have length and width. Okay, it says the width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than the length. So we don't know what the length is, but we know that the width is 2 centimeters less than that length. Okay, I also know that my perimeter is 24 inches. One thing with rectangles, you have perimeter equations. The equation for the perimeter is all sides added up, but for a rectangle, they have a specific equation. Your perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And notice that with the perimeter and stuff, make sure on your given information, write the equation of what the shape is. If it's area, length times width, whatever it may be, always include that in your given. Now here comes your let. I assigned x as my length. So that's what I would assign as for my variable. I let x equal the length of that rectangle. Okay? So now here comes your equation. We have everything right here. So here's our equation that we're going to be writing. Perimeter, which up here is 24 inches. So I would say 24 equals 2 times my length, which is x, plus 2 times my width, which is x minus 2. And then from here you solve. So I'm going to distribute through. So I got 24 equals 2x. Is that? So 2x plus, take your 2 all the way through, 2x minus 4. So I have 24, combine like terms, 4x minus 4. I'm going to add 4 over, so I'm going to come up here, add 4, so I've got 28 equals 4x, divide by 4, x equals 7. So now I know what the length is, because that's what we said x was. X is 7, the length is 7. What's the width then? What's 7 minus 2? 5. So I would write, for my solution, the length is 7 centimeters, and the width is 5 centimeters. Okay, and then I am done. So the story problems aren't that bad. Okay, they're not too shabby.